Hey y'all, it's Arwen with You Never Know. Welcome to our show tonight. It's going to be a mixed bag tonight. We may tell each other ghost stories, who knows. Tonight's guest was going to be Mary. Mary had to cancel. She will reschedule, don't worry. She's our independent publisher and will come on and talk to us a little bit about how to feed that author self and engage that part of us. But we're going to start with this week's Tarotscopes. And we had a mixed bag, really. We used the Dark Goddess Tarot, which is by Ellen Lorenzi Prince. Hopefully I can get her on here to talk a little bit about the process of creating a tarot. Aquarius, you get the Nine of Earth. Bloom where you were planted, love. Look at where you are. Compare that to where you were. Celebrate the amazing growth. Pisces, we get the Eight of Air. Watch quietly. Learn from these demonstrations. Need to stay mentally alert to make the most of the week. Naps, recharge. And gosh, guys, napping is something I'm all about right now. I'm a Pisces. Aries, you get corruption, which is the Tower. I'm sorry, it's not the Tower, it's the devil. Watch your health this week. Unexpected bumps may bring you down. Take the necessary time to heal and don't overtax your body. Taurus, you get the Two of Water. It's time to love. It's time to feel. Look to the future rather than the past. Repeating mistakes is silly given all the new choices. Gemini, you get the Seven of Earth. I want you to strip away what you don't need. Going deep into your own growth cycles is best. Focus on what's in your garden, not theirs. Cancer, you get the Siren of Air. Sharp mind leads to a sharp tongue. That may be what's needed when compassion doesn't show the way. It's time to fly, darling. Leo, you get the Five of Water. Your sorrows will not leave until you let them go. Hanging on to pain weighs you down. Festering grief must be released. Please. Virgo, the Three of Water. Pay attention to others. Isolation won't bring you joy. Friends will. Reach out to connect with those you love. Open up. Libra, you get the Sun. Good things coming your way. Others noticed your hard work. The spotlight is on you. Expect to explore higher levels of self. You are a star, baby. Scorpio, you get the Four of Water. Time for a lay down, sweetheart. No harm in an extra hour of me time here and there. I want you to spoil your inner child this week. Sagittarius, you get the Witch of Water. All emotions lead from you and to you. Your mindset creates your reality. Make sure you're focused on what you want. And our last sign is Capricorn. That's the Five of Earth. You need to focus on what you can heal. Release stress by letting go of what's not yours to fix. Money may be tight. Love anyway. Still getting over this cough and stuff, y'all, so I apologize for any that's going on. Yay for ghost stories. A little later in the broadcast, we're going to do the monthly Tarotscopes as well. But for now, let's talk about ghosts. We've got some people in the room I see. Anybody in there not believe in ghosts? I'm waiting. I'm watching. I don't see anybody raising their hand or speaking out, so I'm going to assume that y'all believe in ghosts like I do. Now, when I say I believe in ghosts, I mean that from a Missouri show me kind of, I believe in ghosts. I've had encounters with, spoken to, and not exactly seen ghosts. It's more like when I'm doing a reading and I have somebody's relative show up, I get like a snapshot memory, if you will. It's all of a sudden, it's like I've seen that person and I know what they look like. I've done ghost busting in houses. I've lived in a very haunted house. I'll share a little bit with you about that. It was in Bowling Green, Ohio. The house was an oil or gas boom, excuse me, a gas boom house. Oil wasn't up in that area. And had been built probably around the turn of the 1900s, somewhere in that area. So maybe 19th century, maybe 20th century, but pretty old house. Had very steep stairs. What I was told were farmhouse stairs. Never lived in a farm, so I don't know. But they were extremely, extremely steep. And my ghost there, we knew we had a ghost. We called her JG because jewelry would go missing, so I just named her Jewelry Ghost. Yeah, I was real creative. And I had asked her once, as JG, I had lost a particular necklace that I was very fond of. Had a little crescent moon on it. It was decorative, and I loved it. And it was gone missing. I said, JG, I'd like to have my necklace back. Could you please help me find it? Well, I heard my cat in the kitchen, and he was playing with nothing. He was chasing nothing. I mean, there wasn't a bug. There wasn't a Q-tip. There wasn't anything. Nothing that he was chasing. I kind of watched him for a minute. Then he reached under the... He was like chasing... Like he was dragging string for a cat. And he shoved his paw under the refrigerator and pulled out my necklace. Now, you tell me. Ghost? Random chance. JG also did not like somebody that I was dating. Did not like them at all. And would do mean shit to them. And I mean mean. My friend came over and she went upstairs to go to bed. I wasn't ready. And she came down white face. I said, well, what's wrong? And she said, there's something in your doorway and I can't get through. She said she walked up and all of a sudden this black shadow like billows up in my doorway. And she literally got pushed back. She couldn't get in. I said, well, okay. Maybe it's not a good night for you to stay over. JG would turn lights on and off. I don't know, Kay is my best friend, is in the chat room right now. I'm not sure if she was ever at that house in Bowling Green. Kay, it was the big white 2-story. And, but JG would mess with lights. She'd turn lights off and on. And she would turn them off and you could say, JG, turn the light back on. The light would come back on. I never had any issues with her. Never. She never caused me any grief whatsoever. And was accurate about the girl that I was seeing at the time. Was not a good relationship. So, and in that same town, I went to, I don't know, Kay's asking if she ever went to Bowling Green. I think you did when we drove to Girl Scout camp, Kay. I think we started in Bowling Green. I digress, and I talk randomly to people y'all can't see. How interesting. Oh, wait, it's like I'm seeing ghosts again, but these are real people. In Bowling Green, there was a home. A friend lived there, and we called it the Bean House because Les Beans lived there. And I was a lesbian, so we had a bunch of beans that hung out at this house. And she asked me to come over, and she said that she wasn't comfortable in the house. I said, well, let me come over and see, if I can find anything. I had just been messing around, and I use the word messing intentionally because I didn't know what I was doing. Walked over, walked around. The house was an old Victorian home, and it was they were like 3 painted ladies in a row on this one little street. I walked around the house and, I don't really feel anything, and walked into the room that was her bedroom, and it had been a study. And, it had built-in bookshelves all up on top. It was a really cool room. And I walked in and was like, oh, you remind me of my daughter. And I don't mean to scare you. I watch you because you remind me of her. And then I held one finger up because my friend was looking at me kind of like, and I said, you need to back up. And she backed up. And I said, no, not you. And whatever it was that I was just all of a sudden, blah, was using my mouth, it backed up. all I can describe it, y'all, is like I was standing in a psychic shower. It was like my whole body tingled from up to down. Um, really hard to say how that feels unless you've actually been in this. And then I told her what this person looked like. I described the man down to what he was wearing. This is the first time I'd ever done this. So it freaked me out a little bit. I'm going to be real honest with you, you know. And we talked to him and said, you know, it's your house, because we gathered that he had something to do with the house. We didn't know what. So we asked him to simply stay in one area when she was in that room because she wasn't comfortable. And she said that after that was fine. She didn't have any problems. She never had that watched feeling again. And I talked to my landlady of my dog grooming shop. Her name was Kirian, Ellie Kirian. I can't remember her first name. It started with an E and ended with an IE. And just a lovely lady. Truly one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I told Miss Kirian about this, and she said, wait. Where was this house again? And I told her. She said, and what did he look like? And I said, well, he was an older man, and he had bald hair, a little bit white, glasses, white shirt, black suspenders, black pants, and we just called him Mr. Books because it was all the bookshelves. And she looked at me with a real strange look, and she said, you've just described Mr. Bowles, who built those 3 houses. That's the house he lived in. And he's been dead 10 years. And she knew that I'd only moved to Bowling Green maybe 2 years before that. So it was very intriguing to me, you know, to have that kind of confirmation about my experience. Because honestly, sometimes I think I make shit up. I'll be honest with you. But my friend Kay has a great story about a home that she was, when she lived in Crossett, Arkansas, and I don't know if it was in Crossett or one of the neighboring towns, but she talks about going over to this house and the woman saying, you know, I've got a spirit, and they were in the living room practicing one of the plays, a Monticello. Kay just told me it was Monticello. And they were practicing one of the plays, and they heard this crash of glass shattering in the kitchen. And they went in there, and she said Taps has actually done a show at this home recently. So, but these things happen. You know, if you want to share in the chat room your own ghost experiences, I would love for you to do that with each other. It's really, really interesting about how spirits work with us, how they connect with us. And I'm not a fan of a Ouija board or a spirit board, and I'll tell you why. Basically, what a Ouija board does to me, it opens up channels, if you will. It opens up doorways. You don't know who's standing on the other side of the doorway. You know, you hear all these great stories about people talking about, oh, I had a Ouija experience where we saw these glowing eyes in the window, or the wind blew in the room and all the windows were closed. You think? You've just asked, you know, let's just call them not as developed spiritual beings into your home. Yeah, they're going to mess with you. It's like inviting a bunch of teenage boys over and saying, have at. They're going to poke you, they're going to pinch you, they're going to mess with you. It's going to happen. As I have been reading, the more I read, the more I get visits during my readings. It can be disconcerting to be reading for somebody and say, okay, who is so-and-so? And not really know. My friend who lives close to me, I did a reading for her mom, and somebody showed up, and I told them stuff about her, and there was a certain thing that I kept getting about It's something about flowers. They look like roses, but they're not roses. And I didn't know what that was. And it turns out she came back to me with some more feedback about what was going on. And it turns out it was her great aunt coming back and letting them know that she was coming to take her sister, her grandmother, who's in final stages right now. And so it kind of freaked me out. Got to tell you again, I tell people I'm not Whoopi Goldberg, don't have the hair for it, but I've had that experience a lot. When I read the 1-900 psychic lines, it started happening more frequently. I actually stopped reading for a while because I truly thought I was losing my mind. I truly thought I had lost it. I was reading for a lady one night and a card came up and I said, well, this card can be indicative of, a car wreck in the past, and he wants you to know he died of a heart attack, not of the car wreck. And I had to stop. This woman, you could hear her just in her voice, and I thought, oh God, what have I done? And then I started talking, and I described this gentleman to her, again, very clearly, and I can still tell you what he looked like. It's so burned in my head. He was a big man, big belly, had on overalls, kindly man. And I said, he's got a message for you. And she stops. And she said, what is it? And I said, well, it's don't move the big pots. Don't move the big pots. Really? You come all the way back from the dead to talk to your wife, and all you can tell her is don't move the big pots? I mean, that's what's going on in my head, right? I'm thinking, oh, he's come back to say, I love you, I miss you, it's lovely here, we'll have dinner on Sunday, whatever. But no, don't move the big pots. She starts laughing and crying at the same time. And when she got herself together, she said, the only reason I know that what you're telling me is real about the car accident is because, and she lived in Arkansas, it's an Arkansas connection. She said, because I have huge terracotta pots out on my patio. It's fixing to turn winter for 2 weeks. I need to bring them in. And I was just thinking about going out and doing that tomorrow. She said, that's him. That's exactly what he would say. Don't move the big pots. And what he means is I need to go get somebody to help me because I'll hurt myself otherwise. And I thought, well, yeah, I guess that's better love than saying I love you. Don't move the big pots. It's become kind of a catchphrase for me in terms of when love is expressed in a different way. They're just telling you don't move the big pots.
And they're all big pots.
Right? Have had other weird things. Not couldn't get a lot of validation on other ones, but in terms of somebody calling me back, when you work a 1-900 line, you're simply a voice on the phone. Somebody can't call and ask for you back. You can with Keen.com. Keen is a different kind of psychic line where you can actually connect and stay with the psychic you like. But things like that did make me stop reading for a while because I truly thought I'd stepped right on out. It's a really interesting experience. And I tell people that I think everybody can be open to this experience, but you need to be... An open mind is a good thing as long as your brains don't fall out. It's one of the reasons I like shows like TAPS, like some of the ghost hunter shows, when they go into disprove, when they go into find out what could be actually causing stuff rather than, are you there? Are you there? It makes me crazy. And y'all know which show I'm talking about, right? So, but ghosts exist. Ghosts are very, very, very real. I get sad sometimes. I have animal ghosts. I don't know if any of you are, probably. I'll expect that many of you have had the experience of losing a loved pet and then seeing them again. Um, my little black cat Carmen still sometimes comes back and visits me. I'll be in bed and feel a cat get up on the bed, and when I look, neither of my two cats are there. And I have felt the cat just doop, 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 doop right up beside me and lay down. So, and I'm fine with that. I loved Carmen very, very much. We were together almost 19 years. So I don't doubt that she still comes to visit and see how things are going. She was a very bossy little girl. Let's see. Ruth says that she used to hear her Maggie cat, but since she moved apartments, she doesn't, and she misses that. Yeah, when I moved, I very intentionally told Carmen that she could come with me. I was very specific about it and created a space for her. I brought an empty cat carrier and let her spirit, if you will. I told her she could ride in that if she wanted to. Don't feel as much anymore. Now she crossed the Rainbow Bridge the same day my very dear friends got married, so that was about 3.5 years ago. It was September 11th. And you hear my dogs in the background because they're going to have a discussion with one another. Let's see. The Triumphant Trio and Valiant Plumbers. Oh. Griff says he's got a ghost that if she likes you, she'll help you find what's missing. If she doesn't like you, it's gone forever. Yeah, I can believe that. I guess what I'm trying to communicate with y'all is that for me, working with tarot, it's a way to be a channel. It's a way to involve myself in mediumship. And I hesitate with the word mediumship because I've got a lot of ugly around that word. So I have to kind of work with myself around it. But I've had plenty of experiences where I'll be reading for somebody and I'll use a word or a phrase and say, this is coming to me, I don't know why. And they almost always know why. Almost everybody has said, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. So I guess that's the point of this little ramble, is to stay open to the possibilities. And what I'd like to do now, I'd like y'all to go ahead and chit-chat about your ghost stories. And I'd like to offer up my monthly Tarotscopes now. Hey y'all, it's Arwen of Tarot by Arwen. I want to thank you for joining me for the February 2014 Tarotscopes. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. And we're going to start with Aquarius. Aquarius, you get the Four of Earth. This means budget and watch your money. It also means that money may be coming to you in different ways, so keep your eyes open for that. Do not neglect to check on your savings. Don't neglect your taxes. Most Aquarians are pretty good about that, but some of us flake them out. And it's not going to be a good month to be flaky with your money. We got the Four of Coins, and in the Gaian Tarot, we see a little squirrel focused on eating all the nuts it can and not paying attention to the nuts that are still coming out of the tree. So make sure that your money flow is being tended to. We don't need any dams or blocks when our money is flowing, right? Our next one is Pisces. You get the Ten of Air. Ten of Air says that sometimes you get to lead and sometimes you get to fall back. So this may be a month for falling back. It could be a month for moving up and leading. Really depends on where you are in your personal flock, Pisces. The Ten of Air is traditionally the Ten of Swords and can indicate taking on a lot of mental junk, just doing too much mentally and getting a little overwhelmed in that area. But Joanna has, I'm using the Gaian Tarot with Joanna Powell Colbert, and she's reimagined the Ten of Swords into the Ten of Air as geese flying. And this tells me that you're going to have some returns in your life, some people coming back, you going back to some people. And also remembering that sometimes you get to fall back and let other people rule, lead, drive, whatever. It's not always your responsibility to make sure everybody's headed in the right direction. Sometimes other people get to do that. And let's go on to Aries. Aries, you get the Two of Air. It's a nice card for you. It talks about listening to self, checking in with that inner voice that you know you have. If you've been running loud, it's time to get quiet. It's time to be silent and let your own inner voice have some time to speak. You know, sometimes we try to yap, 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 and not really listen to ourselves. And Aries, this is going to be a really good month for you to just be quiet and get in touch with that inner self. So I'm going to say meditation, anything that's going to bring you back to self mode. And this also includes not letting other people run your life, not letting other people make you try to follow their lead. Now, most Aries are pretty good about that, but I just want you to really remember this, okay? Follow your own drummer. Speaking of following your own drummer, I want you to make this do something nice month. Now, there's a catch. Do something nice for yourself, not someone else. I want you to be indulgent. I want you to be a little selfish. I want you to do something for you. This can include buying a new soccer ball. It can include going to the movie you want to see, taking yourself out for food. Do something nice for yourself. Taurus, you get the Child of Water. A very, very nice card. This is a little girl. Her name is, she's actually the granddaughter of Joanna, and she's standing in the water. She's exploring emotional self. Taurus, you get to explore emotional self. You get to play a little and be more playful and call play into your life. That's not always easy, but I want you to remember that it's a dull girl that works all day, right? Or was it to dull Jack who never gets to play? I want you to get out there and play some. I want you to allow yourself to have some fun. Hey, if you need to create it, okay, create it. Tauruses are very, very creative creatures. I have every faith in the world that you'll be able to create some fun. Gemini, you get the Devil. This is bindweed. This is an interesting card because it shows somebody who has gotten stuck where they are, and by not moving, they've become trapped. Excuse me. They've let other people guide them to the point that they're almost encircled in a hedge of thorns. This is you needing to tell other people, I'm going to stand up and do it on my own. Really want you, Gems, to not get tied down. Don't be bound to things. And this really includes physical addictions as well. So when the Devil shows up, I'm always cautious about what are you letting rule your life. Is it food? Is it the television? Is it alcohol? Is it another person? Don't let any addictions trap you into a life you don't want to lead. Hey, Cancer. Oh, it's another child. The Taurus has got the Child of Water. Now you get the Child of Earth. And childs are page in this deck. They are the youngest of the court card. The Child of Earth examines an apple. He's very, very focused on it. It's his intent that's very important in this one. I think that the month of February is going to give you some prime time and some prime opportunity to really examine what makes you feel like you're a part of your family and a part of your community. This is about you finding out where home really is and what home
really looks like to you. I recently did some readings, and it was a common theme among these people about what home was, what made home. And I think that's a really important question for all of us to look at and to consider. What is home? So Cancer, that's your question for the month of February. Decide what home is. Guys, you know that my motto is seek joy, and I just want you to seek joy every day in every way. I just got myself some coins, and they have a specific name, and I can't, intention coins, from Free Hippie at Etsy.com. And Free Hippie has some great product. I think you might really enjoy looking at her stuff. These intention coins, you can have her put whatever you want on them, and then you carry it around, and it's your reminder, your promise to yourself. So seek joy every day in every way. And go check out Free Hippie. It's FreeHippie at Etsy.com. Woohoo, Leo! You get the Magician. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is the card of I will make it happen. Get things done. The Magician has all the tools he needs. He does not need outside help. He does not need to go buy anything at the store, pick up a few more things. He's got everything he needs, and he knows it. That knowledge is key. That knowledge of knowing that he has what he needs. That's super important, because you're going to have that this month. February is your month to get things done. February is your month to understand you've got what you need. You don't need outside input, Leo. And another child shows up for our Virgos. I always wonder when I get 3 of the 4 cards if the 4th one will show up or not. I'm resisting flipping ahead. This is for our Virgos, the child or page of fire, page of wands, passion, excitement, new adventures. Something's coming to you in this month that's going to light up your world. You're going to have an opportunity to show off, be seen, be noticed. Really, really good month for you to stand out, Virgos. And I know Virgos are not great on, they don't really like standing out. It's a little too scary to put yourself out there like that. But I want you to do this for me. I want you to make the effort to get out there and be seen, to get out there and take advantage of all that's coming to you. The Child of Fire is about curiosity, and I want you to be curious, Virgo. If something gets your mind going, makes you go, wonder what that is. I want you to dive in, research it, really learn about it. I think it's going to bring you good things this month. Libra, you get the Lovers. And I think that's a wonderful, wonderful card for you this month. It's about strengthening relationships and strengthening your relationship with yourself, which is always a good thing. But this is about nurturing and doing for yourself and just really indulging yourself a little bit. I think that maybe you've been doing for others and not doing for yourself as much. And this may be a really good month for you to turn that around and open yourself up to the idea that you get to do something for you. The Lovers embrace one another, but they offer out to the rest of the world. It's your chance to show other people what a good relationship with self looks like, and let them learn from you, and you'll be a teacher in that respect. Okay, now that was those 3. La la la. Now finish your book. I know a lot of you are writers or want to be writers. Pre-published is what I like to call you. I want to help you finish your book. I've got 9 books out as Mary Lou Mann. We have book 4 of our Lusting Wild series is in edits. Book 2 of the Demon Eye series is also in edits. And we're working on book 5 of Lusting Wild and book 3 of the Demon Eye. So get on track, baby. Get this going. You can finish your book. I've got an e-course that will help you. Go to bit.ly/33write, and I'll put that in the body of the blog post also, where you see this. look for Mapping the Hero's Journey by Arwen. And it's going to give you a really solid foundation on how to get your book done. It's got lessons, there's journal quotes, there's lots going on in this. And it's a 33-day course. You don't have to come see me at any given time. It shows up in your inbox, and you can open it when you like. And it'll be all good. Hey, Scorpio, you get the Elder of Water. The Elder of Water is our King of Cups, and our King of Cups is a gentle man. I want you to understand that this card talks about you and emotional secrets and being gentle with yourself and being gentle with those that bring you emotional secrets. There's going to be a time where you're going to have to go into your counselor mode. And you Scorpios know this. This is something that's very, very common to Scorpios. People come to you and they want your advice, they want your input. And as King of Cups month, that really speaks to a lot of this. It's going to be emotionally draining for you. So I want you to make sure you're giving yourself time and giving yourself space so that you can handle all that comes to you. You're going to be the King of Cups, but you really have to also be the King of Cups for yourself. Sagittarius, you get the Wheel. Great card this month, baby. Wheel of Fortune. Things are happening, things are turning, things that you've put into motion are going to come back to you in a really big way, in a really good way. Stay open to possibility. Look for the opportunity. You've created a lot of this opportunity by networking and talking to people and putting yourself out there. Good job, you. Now, don't stop. This is something you have to keep up, and it's a very, very good thing. Are you ready? Wheel of Fortune, Sagittarius. We end this broadcast with Capricorn. Oh, and Capricorn, you're being told, Hermit. This is about focusing on what's very close to you. Don't stray too far afield from your comfort zone. Don't let people push you out of where you feel safest. The Hermit is also the card of the studier and the student. There's going to be some things that really require your attention. And if you feel like taking some more classes, you feel like digging in deeper into learning something, and there's a class you can take, highly recommend you signing up for it. Really good month for that, with the Hermit showing up. And it's self-exploration. It's about going deeper within and really diving into yourself. That is the end of our Tarotscopes for this month. I hope that you will consider, if you're in the mood, coming and having a tarot conversation with me. I do it via Skype or I do it via phone. And 30 minutes is $55 and an hour is $95. This month, if you mention this broadcast, and I'm only doing it in this podcast, I'm not going to write it out anywhere, and tell me you heard it on the Tarotscopes, you'll get a full hour for $55 instead of $95. You must mention the February 2014 Tarotscope, and it has to happen in the month of February. I know, I have so many rules. I hope that y'all have a great month, and we will talk in March. Bye, y'all. Seek joy, y'all. Pass it on. Seek joy, y'all. Pass it on.
You're live.
Do, 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 do. Oh, hi, y'all. So, I hope you enjoyed the Tarotscopes. We were busy plotting and planning and singing Muppet songs. You know, phenomena. Do, 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 do. Now it's stuck in your head too, isn't it?
No
Yes.
charge extra for that.
Earworms. So, I asked in the chat room while everybody was focusing on the Tarotscopes, if somebody would tell us a ghost story. And Griff, who I call my cousin because we share a family name. We don't know that we're related, but we probably are because Griff's pretty awesome and so am I. And Griff is when I was a kid. My family lived in the back of the tailor shop that my dad ran. The owner of the building had died in a train wreck, but would come back and walk through the shop every so often. Said one night he came through and she saw him and so did her mom. Then Griff talks about Granny Annie. Said the first time she met Granny Annie, she was standing over the bed looking down and kept waking Griff up, so it freaked her out. Yeah, that really does freak people out when you look up and somebody's not there and actually there. I'm trying to see, let's see. Oh, Griff also says that 3 little old ladies who come to visit. Granny Annie, Beauty's mom. Beauty is a 52 Singer sewing machine, and the former owner, I guess, comes back. And Gladys, who likes to visit also. Denise shared about her fur kids with her. One whose name is Lucy, who's a dog I actually had the distinct pleasure of knowing while she was on this side of the veil. Don't tell the other dogs, but Lucy was my favorite. And she comes back and plays tricks on Denise. And Denise talks about that she had a woman who lived in her dorm room and someone who watched over the college's original building. And Denise snuck into, shame on you, Miss Denise. She said she had a ghost roommate named Mary Sibley who let Denise know when Denise was doing things she didn't like. I can imagine ghosts can be very particular. They, I think that there are different types of ghosts. There are some that are more interactive and some that are more repetitive. And the repetitive ones are the ones that, you see them walk through and they don't really know you're there. They just do through. And that's, I've had those. My experiences have been a lot with the interactive ones. And a lot of my ghosts, and I'm not sure ghost is the right word, has been the mediumship, has been the channeling, where I've done a reading for somebody and had somebody else show up and deliver, and I've had to deliver information. And often, I deliver information and the other person that I'm reading for is like, okay, don't really know what you're talking about. And then it'll hit them and they come back and say, oh, wow, figured it out. This is what it was about. And, I can't, some of it I can't share because it's personal to the person I talked with. And I'm very confidential about my readings. So, Robin Marie just showed up, said that she needs someone to ring her phone, almost missed it again. Hey, girl. We're talking about ghosts. But there's one thing you do need to know. Now, a friend of mine who lives in Arkansas, again, a lot of Arkansas ghosts happening now. We had a very interesting experience. I was staying at her house. They had invited me out, and I went out for my birthday. And we were just hanging out, yip-yapping like we do. And I asked them if their house was haunted, because I had just seen something. And they both looked at each other like, yeah. And we started talking about it. And I asked them if they mind if I, did some work and tried to find out what was going on. And, I knew it was a male presence. It was a very determined, almost angry, kind of gruff male presence. And it made me uncomfortable. I was raised by a woman. My dad died when I was real young. I didn't have a lot of male influence in my life. So sometimes masculine energy can make me get a little weirded out because I don't know how to deal with it. And that's kind of what was going on. I went in there, they had one room, went in there. Anyway, I pointed at something and I said, what is that and where's the rest of it? And I didn't even know what it was. Well, my friends are a bit on the different side. They collect very unusual things. And this was an embalmer's kit that they had collected. And yes, it's exactly what you think when you hear the word embalm. It was a funeral. Sorry, my cat's trying to pull something down and I'm trying to stop her before we have raining things on my head. This is vinegar, y'all. If you see the orange cat when you're at my house, you have a year's good luck because she's my little feral girl. Anyway, I said, what is that and where's the rest of it? And they looked at me kind of funny and said, well, it was a spinal tap, I think. It was to draw the fluid out of the spine. Ew, right? Probably some of you are going, cool. Anyway, I said, he's mad because he's very precise. He likes all his stuff together, and you've separate tools. So we're probably talking about a Virgo, right? Very organized. They put his stuff back together. They said they've never had another minute's trouble with him. I think that sometimes we have to be respectful and understand that some people are really attached to their stuff. So if you bring things into your house, particularly funky things at a thrift store, you pick something up and get that little buzz or charge, gotta have this, gotta have this, gotta have... It may have, there may be a reason you have to have it. It may be because you're sensitive and whatever's attached to it wants to be heard, wants to be listened to, wants to be known. Yeah, it was Jack and Diane, Denise. That's exactly who it was. Yeah, so they have an interesting house. Let's just put it that way. And we call them Jack and Diane because of the song, not their names, but it's code in our family. And it's interesting. I've done cleansing at people's houses where there wasn't exactly ghost or spirits. It's just like energies trapped. It's like you just can't get away from it. And friends of mine had this happen in their house, and I went in and did cleansing. I put up stones. I did mirror work, and it's a house cleansing that I do. And basically, it's to make the energy move in the right ways. It's kind of feng shui-ish. I don't know if that's the right word, but I know it's not feng shui-ish is not a right word. But it's, if you ever get into a house where things don't feel right, consider smudging, consider putting out mirrors to reflect energy out, pull things in. There's a lot of work you can do in your own environment to make it more pleasant for yourself. I went into a room in a house where a bunch of women lived, and this one woman said she had just moved in and was not sleeping. And when I saw her, I mean, we're talking, big hollow eyes, bags, and she's just like, I can't sleep in there. I go to sleep, I have the worst dreams, I have to wake up, I have to get out of there. And I was like, okay, well, let me come in. And I came in and did a circle, and I swear to you, it felt like my hair stood on end. I know it didn't, but it was just that kind of whirling morass of energy. What had happened had been the person who lived there before her had a lot of negativity in their life. And I mean, they had created this sinkhole. It was just sucking you down. So we cleaned that room out, and I actually advised her to move out for a little while and have somebody do it again, because I wasn't going to be there. It was just a nasty, nasty room. And we discovered that they'd gone in and painted when this person had left. Well, the person had painted the walls black and red. Ick. Okay, somebody in the chat room has outed themselves as somebody I've done house cleaning for. And she states, my own house was trying to kill me. And she's not really being facetious. She had 4 dogs, Denise. How many? 3 or 4 of the babies left us. And unexpectedly. Some of them were not. And Kay's granddaughter is on the computer, I believe. 4 in 4 months. And then Denise fell. She was falling downstairs. tripping over things that weren't there. It was bad. And they talked to me about it, and I'm sure I went, I'll come do a house cleaning. And went out, and there's icky stuff there. And we discovered what it was, and we talked about it, and we cleansed it. But it was bad. Because the dogs, I was very close to her dogs. Let's just say that they were my babies too. So it was really hard. One of them was old. One of them, yes, okay. But one of them should not have been. She got so sick and was gone so suddenly it wasn't even fair. So I'll stop talking before I start crying. But and now she's got new babies. We're good. We got new babies and a new house too. But if you live in a situation where you're not comfortable, or you've been comfortable and suddenly it doesn't feel comfortable, consider cleaning your energy. And it does involve cleaning your house. It involves, decluttering and putting stuff in the right places and getting your energy clear. It's really important, I think, to remember that spring cleaning isn't just your house. Robin's asking somebody in the chat room, that's why I'm laughing, is that my son? And Chris, my friend Chris, just found out that her name is the same as Robin's son's name. And our lovely producer says, Chris, you could have hit her up for years of birthday money. Very true. Robin, that's my pal Chris, who's a real cutie too, kind of hot. Just saying. So we've talked about ghosts a little more than I kind of expected we might. Anybody want to chat about ghosts before I pull one name? I'm going to grab one name out of the people in the chat room. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, 8 people in the chat room, not including me. Last minute ghost stories? Aw, hi Melody. I love you, Melody. Melody's my great niece, Kay's granddaughter. And she's pretty girl. Hi, Auntie Arnen. I'm Auntie Arnen. So, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So there's 8 people. Where's my nearest tarot deck? Right here. I'm going to pull a card, and whatever number it's closest to, that's who wins. And it is card 7. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, Robin Marie, you're number 7. You just want a 30-minute tarot reading if you want one. The psychic wins one. Awesome. Oh, it's just Robin? Oh, your last name is Marie. I'm reading there. Ha ha ha. Okay, I'll pull another card. Robin says give it away. She knew it would happen, right? Sorry. Oh my goodness. Well, it's the one card, it's 10 cards, so I combined them. That would be Kay Smith. Is the winner of the 30-minute reading. Kay, do you want it, or do you want to give it away? The reason I'm asking that is that Kay can have a reading any day she wants. She's my best friend. Wait, she may have jumped with Miss Melody. Peas and carrots? What is peas and carrots?
You and Kay, your best friends, they're like peas and carrots.
We are like peas and carrots. That's Kay and I. Yes. Crazy talk for BFS. See, Denise knew. Denise, why do you know? You know everything. Well, I guess Kay's keeping it because she hasn't said she doesn't want it. So, Kay wins it. Yay! So, thanks very much for y'all joining me. We've got a little bit of time, so I'm just going to babble at you if somebody doesn't ask me a question. Okay, how about this? One person, the first person to ask me a question in the chat room, I'll do a really super fast reading. And go. You know I will, too. Read that question for you. Dirtball. Arwen. Aubergine. They're asking me what my name is and what favorite color is. I'm just going to reach for the chat window and smack people. Oh, look. Denise got the tower. Oh, tower, death, devil. Right in a row. Sucks to be you. Will I ever be invited to Austin again, says Chris. I'm sorry, Chris, but no. Okay, so nobody wants to ask me a real question. So, I'm going to pick on Ruth, who's been the best child in the entire chat room. She has not caused any problems. Can't say the same for the rest of you. So Ruth, this is your card for the week. You get to focus on this card. Can you see it? Two of air. It's Athena. That's true. Griff was good. I'm sorry, Griff, honey. You were good. You were not a bad child. But Ruth, you get Athena, the two of air. You're going to have a decision that you have to make this week. It's something that's been weighing heavily on your mind. Go for the one that causes you more emotional joy. Go for the one that gets your emotions engaged and really opens you up emotionally. So whatever these two things are, one's going to be a little more mental, one's going to be a little more heart-oriented. Heart-oriented is what you're doing. Kim says she's been in timeout for 3 weeks. Griff's been very good, Kathy. I'll say that online. Is it Robin or Robine? I know it's an unusual spelling. I wonder if it's an unusual pronunciation. Okay, thank you. It is Robin. So I have been saying it right. Yeah, people mispronounce Arwen as Arwen, which is the Celtic underworld. And I'm like, no, I am not dead. I can't just yet, honey, but I will. Okay, babies. We are right at the end of the show. Next week, I have no idea who's going to be on, so I can't actually promo it because I don't know. They're just being wild in the chat room. Y'all really miss a lot if you don't come in on Monday nights at 10 o'clock and listen and get in on the chat stuff, because that's where the real action is. If you see me stop and go, they probably said something I can't say on air. So, good night, y'all. And remember, always, always, always seek joy, y'all. Pass it on.